Oh, Sai, guess what? What? 3 mixed in tomorrow. See, notes, sky blue.
Top of the day, beautiful people. Top of the day. That's Wabu. That's Wabu. House of the Father. Recognizing you are the house of the Father. That's Wabu. That's Wabu. That's Wabu. Alright, y'all. Today, y'all, we already at Thursday. Like, these days are really flying by. It is February the 6th, 2020. Day 65. We're reading Joshua 7, 8, and 9 today. There's a thief among us. All right. Betwabo, sister. Betwabo, sister.
Only, yeah. No, if you
Okay. All right, let's get started.
So now I have slime.
Okay. I know y'all can probably hear them kids in the background. They're like, I woke up, all 4 of them, the 4 small ones. They all sitting in our room Indian style playing with Play-Doh. And I'm like, I mean, be a nice part like this little campfire and everything, all 4 of them. They're whispering, talking to each other, molding the Play-Doh and stuff. I'm like, what? And then they follow me downstairs like, why do y'all keep getting up every morning at like 6 in the morning? Probably because we sending them to bed earlier. It is. It's way too early for this. You know, they got a whole conversation there right now in the dining room. Well, at least I know they all early risers. I mean, we're going to capitalize on that. We're going to teach them how to capitalize on that early time. All right. All right, beautiful people. Let's get started. All right. Joshua chapter 7. But the children of Israel committed a trespass in the accursed thing, for Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, took of the accursed thing, and the anger of Yahuwah was kindled against the children of Israel. You're still asleep? Yeah, shucks. For the last couple of weeks, they all been just up. It seemed like their eyes pop open before my eyes pop open most days. Because I hear them, except for this morning. I hear them when they come in the room. There was, like I said, it was all in our room, sitting on the floor at the foot of our bed in a circle, playing with Play-Doh. And Joshua sent men from Jericho to Ai, which is beside Beth-Ven on the east side of Bethel, and spake unto them, saying, Go up and view the country. And the men went up and viewed Ai. Hey, y'all, check it out just a little bit. Thank you. And they returned to Joshua and said unto him, Let not all the people go up, but let about 2,000 or 3,000 men go up and smite Ai, and make not all the people to labor thither, for they are but few. So there went up thither of the people about 3,000 men, and they fled before the men of Ai. And the men of Ai smote them about 30 and 6 men, for they chased them from before the gate, even unto Shebarim, and smote them in the going down, where the hearts of the people melted, and became as water. And Joshua rent his clothes, and fell to the earth upon his face before the ark of Yahuwah until evening, he and the elders of Israel, and put dust on their heads. And Joshua said, Alas, O Yahuwah, wherefore hast thou at all brought this people over Jordan to deliver us into the hand of the Amorites, to destroy us? Would to God we had be content and dwelt on the other side of Jordan. O Yahuwah, what shall I say when Israel turneth their backs before their enemies? For the Canaanites and all the inhabitants of the land shall hear of it, and shall environ around us, and cut off our name from the earth. And what wilt thou do unto thy great name? And Yahuwah said unto Joshua, Get thee up, wherefore liest thou thus upon thy face? Israel has sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant, which I have commanded them. For they have taken even of the accursed thing, and have also stolen, and dissembled also, and they have put it even among their own stuff. So I think I mentioned this before. When things start going haywire, especially when you are... Well, I would say anybody. I mean, I think it's a principle all over. When things start going really haywire in your life, we really should consider our ways, like, what's going on? You know, don't be so quick to blame other people. First, foremost, we need to check ourselves. Okay, have I brought this on myself? Have I done something that I should not have done? Let me tell you something, bro. I wasn't going to share this story, but I think this is a perfect time to share this story. At least you already know. Okay, so last weekend, That was last weekend. I think it was last Friday. Or they blame the devil. Like, I could have surely blamed the devil for what happened to me. But I knew immediately as I was en route to the ground that it was my own foolishness that was bringing me down. Literally. Let me tell you the story real quick. Okay. So we had to mail out some paperwork to the DMV in Richmond because of a title for our box truck, and because of some issues we had to get some stuff, and we had to mail it up to them so they could verify to give us the title for the new truck that we bought for the company, right? So got all the paperwork together, and at first I thought the post office opened at like 10, right? But it was like 9. I was already up and going out, and normally when I go, I take all the kids with me. But Jeremiah was here. I was like, I'm just gonna run. I'm gonna come right back. But normally when I go, when you pull up, if there's like a strip of stores, the post office over here, the particular one that I went to, it's in like a shopping center of stores. So it's like in the middle of all the shopping centers, and there's like a fire lane. You're not allowed to park there, but you can pick up and drop off people there and go park or go away, whatever, right? I knew that. So, but normally when I have the kids with me, I would have Jeremiah run in, drop the stuff in the mailbox on the inside, and come back out, and then we roll off. But it was only me this time, right? And listen, I knew this from the time I left out the door. I'm like, Pam, you're gonna have to walk inside. And I had my flip-flops on, and it was kind of chilly too. So I'm thinking, I can just pull up to the front, run in real quick, drop it into the mailbox, right? So I was like, nope, Pam, you better park. Then I was like, it's kind of cold outside. I got flip-flops on. And I'm going through all this in my head. I'm like, well, you knew it was cold outside. You went outside with flip-flops on. Anyway, you should have put on your tennis shoes and your feet wouldn't be cold. So I'm like really having this whole conversation with myself all the way to the post office. Look, like it was like I was really debating whether I was going to pull up and just run in or pull into a parking space. Now, it's a principle. And I think, it was a lesson. Even the smallest lessons, even the smallest things that we know to do this right and we don't do it, a lot of times it tends to come back and bite us. And with me, I notice a lot of times it gets me immediately. And I'm like, oh, shoot. That's why I was like, I don't do, it's like little small stuff though. So I'm like, yep, see, I knew that. I was debating the whole thing while I was going. And it was something small, but it was teaching me a bigger principle. And so by the time I got to the post office, I'm like, you know what? Ain't that many people out here. I'm just going to go ahead and pull up right here. I ain't even going to be in there 30, like literally park right here. You go right, it's probably about maybe not even 10 feet to the post office door from the curb. And the inside drop mailboxes are right there. So I'm like, yeah, look. And then I pulled up and I stopped and I was like, I really should go park. Because I tell James all the time when we go to the other post office, I was like, just because it's right here for all the other parking, I was like, don't pull into the handicapped parking spot. Just let me out. I run in real quick or park over here. And you're like, look, just in my parking spot. So I was like, look, don't do that. I said, I hope you don't do that when you're by yourself. Whew, how my words come back for me when I'm in the same situation. Normally, most of the time, I do go park. But simply because of the fact it was cold outside and I didn't want my feet to be cold. I didn't want to be inconvenienced by my feet being cold. Like, how foolish is that, right? Bro, let me tell you something. When you strive to live an upright life, that means we need to live upright in every little detail of our life. Even little small things like this that nobody would see, right? That you would think nobody would see. Not that I was like, I can get away with this because that's not the type of person I am. But it was really like, it was like, it was just one of them days. I'm just going to run in, drop it off, get on back to the house real quick. I was taught such a big lesson in these few minutes, from the time I left the house to the time I got there, to the time I called Alicia to tell her what happened and tell my husband what happened, and I'm still suffering to this day. Okay, now let me tell you what actually happened. So I decided I wasn't going to go pull into a parking spot. I decided to go ahead and just leave my truck parked right here and running, but I took my keys out. I have the ability to take my keys out of my car and leave it running and lock the door. So I hop out, grab the paper, and so by this time I was sitting there probably about a minute and a half debating again whether I should go park or just run in real quick. So by the time I was getting out, there was 3 people walking across the street to come into the store, right? No, it was 2 people walking this way. And by the time I got out the truck and I walked around the back of my truck to go in, so as I was coming around the back of my truck, there was an older gentleman coming out of the store beside the post office. He was coming down off the curb. He was like, how you doing? I said, how you doing? And as I stepped up on the curb, my flip-flop clipped the top of the curb. Now, mind you, these curbs are just a little bit higher than normal. They're not high, but they're a little higher than normal curves, and I knew that. And when the tip of my flip flop clipped the curb, which I thought was the top of the curb, I lift my foot. I'm like, oh shoot. You know how you go catch it when you about to trip or something, or trip over your foot, you kind of catch yourself. Yeah, I was like, oh shoot, immediately when I felt my flip flop clip the top of that curb, everything that I had been thinking about started going through my mind, and I just lifted my leg. I was like, Pam, catch yourself. So I lifted my leg a little bit higher to clear the curb, or so I thought I was clearing the curb. But my flip-flop, at first, it got the middle of the curve. Then when I lift my foot a little bit higher, it got the top of the curve, which caused me to begin to tumble forward. And as I'm tumbling forward, all this stuff is like, no. It's like, how is a 40-year-old whole grown woman about to bite the dust in public? It's 3 people out here that can see me now. Like, all this stuff is going through my mind, and I'm going forward like, no. And the man that just walked past me, he must have heard me make some kind of sound like, And he turned around, and I heard, as I was falling, said, no. I heard him say, oh my God. And I'm like, and I got even more embarrassed as I was going to the ground. I'm like, oh, look. You would think it was slow motion. But in my mind, and before I still hit the ground, I was like, I should have went and parked. I was so embarrassed, so I put my hand out to go catch myself, but when I put my hand out, I didn't put it out far enough. So when I put it out, I hit the ground, and my body went forward, and it was like I was still falling forward because I didn't put my arms out far enough. So now I put it out too far back, now I'm still going forward, and I took my other hand, I'm like, As soon as I hit the ground, I'm like, yep, you immediately bought that on yourself. Call it karma, call it your hood, like you need to follow directions. If people are watching you, even in the smallest things, you need to follow directions. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, help me. So I'm on the ground. I was just going to lay there for a second. But the guy that had just walked by me, and I heard somebody say, oh my God. He came back over there. He said, ma'am, are you okay? And the other black lady came. She said, oh, Jesus. And I'm like, I'm so embarrassed. A whole 40-year-old grown woman on the ground, right? Okay, quit messing with her. I was like, oh my gosh. And I turned around. Wait, Sheriff. Wait a minute. Hold on. Did I go park? I still didn't go park. Let me tell you what happened. So after I'm pulling myself up off the ground, girl, knees is burning, palms of my hands is burning, embarrassment flushing all through my body. I don't know how red that I turned. The red was probably because of the embarrassment, and it was something that I knew I could have prevented, because had I went and parked my car, I would have clearly cleared that curb. But when I walked around the back of the car, it was like, I don't know, my truck wasn't shielding the curb, but I'm walking past my truck, like walking around, and just like the way I went up, I was like, clearly that would not have happened if I went and parked my truck. And so he was like, ma'am, you okay? Help me up. I was like, yes, thank you so much. I said, I tripped over my flip-flop coming over the curb. I said, thank you so much. Trying to act like I was okay. But mind you, hands is burning, knees is burning. So I walked and got up, picked up my darn papers that I was mailing to go into the post office. Go in there, drop them in a slot. And as I'm opening up the box to drop the paperwork in the slot, I heard Pam. I'm like, Jesus Christ, somebody didn't see me fall outside. Who was at the post office? This girl in the post office ain't even open. Turns around and I look and I say, I know that face. No, y'all, I didn't go park. I should have, when he helped me up off the ground, I should have went and parked, but I was so embarrassed, and embarrassment was full on, fledged on. It was like, I have to get out of here as soon as possible. Like I was between the truck now and the door to go in. So I'm like, I didn't already fail. I done learned my lesson already. So I'm like, this is going in a slot. I didn't want to go park, then come back. And now the people that's in these stores, they're sitting there because you got a chair right here and they're getting like loans in this places, people sitting in there. It's like, that's like embarrassment the second time around. I already got to walk back out. Man, did you see that lady fall on the ground? And I just like, you know what? I'm already, I went in, dropped it in. As I was dropping in, bam, I'm like, and I'm like, he said, you used to live on Tanner's Creek, right? I'm like, who knows my face from, so that's over 20 years ago, if not 30, I said that's over 30 years ago. Who knows? And I literally said, I said, who knows my face from that long ago? I said, I was a little girl. I said, I'm 40 years old now. And he said, you remember the family that stayed around the corner from y'all? The Wrights. I'm like, oh my God. It was a family that stayed behind us that we grew up in the same neighborhood. Franchon, her brothers, Anthony and Antoine and stuff like that. And I'm like, and I'm standing there, he talking, I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like, yeah. I was like, how did you remember my face? I was like, I know I don't look that much like I did when I was that young. I was like 10, 11 years old. He said, yep, I remember you. He said, going through the family, you got sisters and you got a brother, Jonathan. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, Leisha and Sharon's living in, you know, across the water and stuff. And I was like, wait a minute. And I stopped him right in mid-stride. I said, you saw me fall outside, didn't you? And he just looked at me. He said, no. You okay though? Everything good? I'm like, yeah. So I stood there and looked at him. And I'm like, now either he truly didn't see me fall, or he just trying to help me save face and don't want to embarrass me anymore. So I'm like, and I'm still standing there, palms blazing, hot, hurting, knees is burning. I'm like, okay, yeah. So I'm trying to hurry up and rush through the conversation. I said, yeah, I'm going to tell him I saw you and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I know this dude that saw me before. He's staying here trying to hold a conversation. I'm getting more embarrassed about him. I'm trying to get out here to the truck. I was like, all right, good. It was nice seeing you. So I get back out there to the truck. As soon as I open the door, I felt like everybody in all the stores had saw me fall, and their eyes was going to be, oh, there she go. Look, that's what I was talking about. Girl, when she was coming in. That's what my mind was saying. I'm like, see, you should have just followed direction the first time. You contemplated this from the time you left the house. And so I got in the truck, and I was embarrassed till I got out of the parking lot where my truck was no longer in sight. People probably wouldn't even think about me. Nobody else probably saw me fall except for the ones that, oh my God, they helped me up. And probably the guy in the post office and stuff. When I got out, oh my gosh. And when I got to the light, I looked at my hands. I saw the little dents in my hands from the little rocks. Then I looked at my knees. Y'all, I had on yoga pants. Both my knees had holes in them, and my knees were bleeding. The blood was coming through the yoga pants on my knees. And I'm standing there the whole time. I was like, oh, he done probably saw my bloody knees and stuff, and he had to see me fall. And I called Alicia. I said, girl, let me tell you what I just did. I was like, oh my gosh, pray for me. Father, forgive me for my sins. So, guys, let me tell you, I had to come sit, and I was running my hands underwater like, I was acting like one of the kids. No, don't spray it with peroxide. No. Like, I was in here acting a fool when I got to the house. It was probably more pain in my mind from the embarrassment of falling in front of a whole bunch of people, a whole healthy 40-year-old woman that just falls out of nowhere. Because you didn't watch how high you were stepping over a curve. Girl, was you sure you okay? Is you really healthy? You know, so, but I thought that was a good story to share for what we're about to read right now. So when things happen, I could have blamed that on the devil. The devil's nowhere in sight. That was a result of my own foolishness that I had contemplated. I mean, it wasn't a big thing. I didn't go commit a big sin. But that can be considered a sin unto me, because I know it's a fire lane and you're not supposed to leave your vehicle unattended there. Even if you're just running, it's different. If you, like I said, you can drop off and you can pick up, but you can't leave your vehicle unattended. And what I did, I would have been leaving my vehicle unattended. It doesn't matter that it was 30 seconds. The whole point is that my vehicle was being left unattended, you know. And so I'm like, oh, yep, I broke the rules and I deserve every bit of what I just got there. So I said all of that. When things start going wrong in our life, we should really first consider our ways. Consider if we're out of line, if we have done something, or if we're even contemplating something that we know we should not be doing. Hey, y'all. Because what's going to happen is if we don't nip those things in the bud, and I think that's why judgment, when we see and hear judgment happen so quick, you know what? You catch them, stone them. Put fear in the camp so everybody would know this is not acceptable. You must consider your ways. Even before you think about doing something, the punishment should be so strict and so harsh that even while you're contemplating, that you would reconsider what you're contemplating and decide to go about it in a proper fashion. Yeah, and I'm like, the most would happen is security rolling through the head. You can't do that. Go ahead and move your vehicle. I'm just, maybe you get a ticket. No, I never thought in all my days that my immediate smackdown would come from the curb, from nature itself. Bruh, and I'm still in pain, like literally. My knees are scabbed over now, but my right one is still in a little more pain because it was skinned up the most, So every time I go into the bathroom, I'm putting Neosporin on my knees and stuff, but the pain is there. And then I bumped it again yesterday, getting up to the table. James said, So I'm just like, Father, I need to consider every area of my life. I was like, why? But I get why. Because we shouldn't just be doing what's right on the outside where everybody else can see. We should literally be doing what's right all the time, even when nobody can see but me and Yah himself. Even if it's just the very small things that we don't think may come back and bite us in the butt, because what it does, all right, babe, love you, it's going to add to your character. If you start doing those small things, you're going to continue doing those small things, and they're going to begin to add up to big things, and now you're going to think you're above the law, and that's a terrible way to go. And that was a prayer. I was like, Father, please never let me get out of control. Keep me humble in all things. I don't want to get a big head in anything, So that was what happened to me, was an answer to one of my prayers that I personally prayed to keep myself grounded in all things. So I said all that to say this is why Israel just got beat by their enemies. After all the fear of them had been on all the nations of the world, how did a whole handful of people just beat them? And Yahuwah told Joshua, and Yahuwah said unto Joshua, Get thee up, wherefore thou liest upon thy face. Israel has sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant which I commanded them. For they have even taken of their cursed thing, and have also stolen. Hey, guys, chill. Voices down. And dissemble also, and they have put it even among their own stuff. Therefore the children of Israel could not stand before their enemies, but turned their backs before their enemies, because they were accursed. Neither will I be with you any more, except ye destroy the accursed thing from among you. Up, sanctify the people, and say, Sanctify yourselves against tomorrow. And thus saith Yahuwah, the God of Israel, There is an accursed thing in the midst of thee, O Israel, thou cannot stand before thine enemies until ye take away the accursed thing from among you. In the morning, therefore, ye shall be brought according to your tribes, and it shall be that the tribe which Yahuwah shall take is come according to the families thereof, and the family which Yahuwah shall take shall come by the households, and the households which Yahuwah shall take shall come man by man. And it shall be that he that is taken with the accursed thing shall be burnt with fire, and he and all that he hath, because he hath transgressed the covenant of Yahuwah, and because he has wrought folly in Israel. So Joshua rose up early in the morning, and bore Israel by their tribes, and the tribe of Judah was taken. Hey, guys, I need y'all to take it down another notch. Thank you. And he brought the family of Judah, and he took the family of the Zarhites, and he brought also the family of the Zarhites, man by man. Very good. Looks like a carrot. And Zabdi was taken, and he brought his household man by man, and Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, was taken. And Joshua said unto Achan, My son, give, I pray thee, glory unto Yahuwah, God of Israel, and make confession unto him, and tell me now, what hast thou done? Hide it not from me. And Achan answered Joshua and said, Indeed, I have sinned against Yahuwah, the God of Israel, and thus have I done. When I saw among the spoils of the goodly Babylonish garment 200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight, then I coveted them and took them, and behold, they are hid in the earth in the midst of my tent, and the silver under it. So Joshua, hey guys, y'all are loud again. And Joshua sent messengers, and they ran unto the tent, and behold, it was hid in his tent, and the silver under it. And they took them out of the midst of the tent, and brought them unto Joshua and unto all the children of Israel, and laid them out before Yahuwah. And Joshua and all of Israel with him took Achan, the son of Zerah, and the silver, and the garment, and the wedge of gold, and his sons, and his daughters, and his oxen, and his asses, and his sheep, and his tent, and all that he had, and they brought them unto the valley of Achor. And Joshua said, Why hast thou troubled us, Yahuwah? Hey! Shh.
We can't turn this down.
I'm saying turn your voices down. And Joshua said, Why hast thou troubled us? Yahuwah shall trouble thee this day. And all Israel stoned him with stones and burned him with fire, after they had stoned them with stones. And they raised over him a great heap of stones unto this day. And Yahuwah turned the fierceness of his anger. Wherefore the name of that place was called the Valley of Acre unto this day. And every time I go into the post office, I'm going to think about what happened to me. That's going to be called the Valley. I didn't have a lot of Valley of Acres in my day. I'm just saying. All right, Joshua chapter 8. And Yahuwah said unto Joshua, Fear not, neither be thou dismayed. Take all the people of war, arise, go up to Ai. See, I have given into thy hand the king of Ai and his people and his city and his land. And thou shalt do to Ai and her king as thou didst unto Jericho and her king. Only the spoil thereof and the cattle thereof shall ye take for a prey unto yourselves. Lay thee in ambush for the city behind it. So Joshua arose and all the people of war to go up against Ai and Joshua. And Joshua chose out of 30,000 men of valor and sent them away by night. And he commanded them, saying, Behold, ye shall lie in wait against the city, even behind the city. Go not very far from the city, but be ye all ready. And I and all the people that are with me will approach unto the city. And it shall come to pass, when they come out against us, as at the first, that we will flee before them. For they will come out after us, till we have drawn them from the city. For they will say, They flee before us, as at the first. Therefore we will flee before them. Then ye shall rise up from the ambush and seize upon the city, for Yahuwah your God will deliver it into your hand. I'm sorry, y'all. I was just thinking about my whole shenanigans that I was just sharing with y'all. And it shall be, when ye have taken the city, that ye shall set the city on fire. According to the commandment of Yahuwah shall ye do. See, I have commanded you. Joshua therefore sent them forth, and they went to lie in ambush and abode between Bethel and Ai, on the west side of Ai. But Joshua lodged that night among the people. And Joshua rose up early in the morning and numbered the people, and went up, he and the elders of Israel, before the people to Ai. And all the people, even the people of war that were with him, went up and drew nigh and came before the city, and pitched on the north side of Ai. Now there was a valley between them and Ai. And he took about 5,000 men and set them to lie in ambush between Bethel and Ai on the west side of the city. And when they had set the people, even all the host that was on the north of the city, and their leers in wait on the west side of the city, Joshua went that night into the midst of the valley. And it came to pass, when the king of Ai saw that they had hasted and rose up early, and the men of the city went out against Israel to battle, he and all his people, at the time appointed before the plain. But he wist not that there were leers in ambush against him behind the city. Like they didn't know they was camping out about to get them all. And Joshua and all Israel made as if they were beaten before them, and fled the way of the wilderness. And all the people that were in Ai called together to pursue after them. And they pursued after Joshua, and were drawn away from the city. And there was not a man left in Ai or Bethel that went out after Israel. And after they left the city open, they left the city open and pursued after Israel. And Yahuwah said unto Joshua, Stretch out the spear that is in thy hand toward Ai, for I will give it into thine hand. And Joshua stretched out the spear that he had in his hand toward the city. And the ambush rose quickly out of their place, and ran as soon as he had stretched out his hand. And they entered into the city and took it, and hasted and set the city on fire. And when the men of Ai looked behind them, they saw, and behold, the smoke of the city ascended up to heaven. And they had no power to flee this way or that way. And the people that fled to the wilderness turned their back on the pursuers. And the people that fled to the wilderness turned back upon the pursuers. And when Joshua and all Israel saw that the ambush had taken the city, and that the smoke of the city ascended, then they turned again and slew the men of Ai. And the other issued out of the city against them, so they were in the midst of Israel. Hey, chill. Some on this side. And they smote them, so that they let none of them remain or escape. Bella.
No.
You know what? Simply because there's just a little drop left. Gone, a little tiny. And it came to pass, when Israel had made an end of slaying all the inhabitants of Ai in the field in the wilderness wherein they chased them, and when they were all fallen on the edges the sword until they were consumed, that all the Israelites returned unto Ai and smote it with the edge of the sword. And so it was that all the city fell that day, both of men and women, were 12,000, even all the men of Ai. For Joshua drew not his hand back, wherewith he stretched out a spear again, until he had utterly destroyed all the inhabitants of Ai. Only the cattle and the spoil of that city Israel took for a prey unto themselves, according to the word of Yahuwah which he had commanded Joshua. And Joshua burnt Ai and made a heap forever, even a desolation unto this day. And the king of Ai was hanged on a tree until eventide, and as soon as the sun was down, Joshua commanded that they should take his carcass down from the tree and cast it at the entering of the gate of the city, and raise thereon a great heap of stones that remaineth unto this day. Then Joshua built an altar unto Yahuwah of God of Israel in Mount Ebal, as Massa, Moses, the servant of Yahuwah, commanded the children of Israel, as it is written in the book of as it is written in the book of the law of Moses, an altar of whole stones which no man hath lift up any iron. And they offered thereon burnt offerings unto Yahuwah, and sacrificed peace offerings. And he wrote there upon the stones a copy of the law of Moses, which he wrote in the presence of the children of Israel. And all of Israel and their elders and their officers and their judges stood on this side the ark, and on that side before the priests of the Levites, which bear the ark of the covenant unto Yahuwah, as well as the stranger, as he that was born among them, half of them over against Mount Gerizim, and the other half of them over against Mount Ebal, as Moses the servant of Yahuwah had commanded before, that they should bless the people of Israel. And afterward he read all the words of the law, the blessings and the cursings, according to all that is written in the book of the law. And there was not a word of all that Moses commanded which Joshua read not before all the congregation of Israel, with the women and the little ones and the strangers that were conversant among them. Last chapter for the day, y'all. Joshua chapter 9. 27 verses. And it came to pass, when all the kings which were on this side Jordan, in the hills and in the valleys, and in all the coasts of the great sea, over against Lebanon, the Hittite and the Amorite and Canaanite, the Perizzite, the Hivite and the Jebusite, heard thereof, that they gathered themselves together to fight with Joshua and with Israel with one accord. And when the inhabitants of Gibeon heard what Joshua had done unto Jericho, unto Ai, they did work willy with, and went and made as if they had been ambassadors, and took old sacks upon their asses, and wine bottles old and rent and bound up, and old shoes and clouded upon their feet, and old garments upon them, and all the bread of their provision was dry and moldy. And they went to Joshua into the camp of Gilgal, and said unto them and to the men of Israel, We come from a far country. Now therefore make ye league with us. And the men of Israel said unto the Hivites, Peradventure you dwell upon us, and how shall we make a league with you? And they said unto Joshua, We are thy servants. And Joshua said unto them, Who are ye, and whence come ye? And they said unto him, From a very far country thy servants are come, because of the name of Yahuwah thy God, and we have heard the fame of him, and all that he did in Egypt, and all that he did to the two kings of the Amorites that were beyond Jordan, to Sihon king of Heshbon, and to Og king of Bashan, which was at Ashtaroth. Wherefore our elders and the inhabitants of our country spake unto us, saying, Take victuals with you for all the journey, and go meet with them, and say unto them, We are your servants, therefore make ye a league with us. This our bread we took hot for our provision out of our houses on the day we came forth to go unto you, but now it is dry and it is moldy. And these bottles of wine which we filled were new, and behold, they be rent. And these our garments and our shoes are become old by reason of the very long journey. And the men took of their victuals, and asked not counsel of the mouth of Yahuwah. And Joshua made peace with them, and made a league with them, and let them live. And the princes and the congregation and the princes of the congregation swear unto them. And it came to pass at the end of 3 days after they had made a league with them, that they heard that they were their neighbors, and that they dwelt among them. And the cities of Israel and the children of Israel journeyed, and came unto their cities on the 3rd day. Now their cities were Gibeon, and Kephirah, and Beeroth, and Kirjath Jearim. And the children of Israel smote them not, because the princes of the congregation had sworn to them by Yahuwah the God of Israel, and all the congregation murmured against the princes. But all the princes said unto the congregation, We have sworn unto them by Yahuwah the God of Israel. Now therefore we may not touch them, this will we do to them. We will even let them live, lest wrath be upon us, because of the oath which we swear unto them. And the princes said unto them, Let them live, but let them be hewers of wood and drawers of water unto all the congregation, as the princes had promised them. And Joshua called for them, and he spake unto them, saying, Wherefore have ye beguiled us, saying, We are very far from you, when ye dwell among us? Now therefore ye are cursed, there shall none of you be freed from being bondmen and hewers of wood and drawers of water for the house of my God. And they answered Joshua and said, Because it was certainly told thy servants how Yahuwah thy God commanded his servant Moses to give you all the land and to destroy the inhabitants of the land from before you. Therefore we were so afraid for our lives because of you, and have done this thing. And now, behold, we are in thine hand, as it seemed good and right unto thee, do unto us. And so did he unto them, and delivered them out of the hand of the children of Israel, that they slew them not. And Joshua made them that day hewers of wood and drawers of water for the congregation, and for the altar of Yahuwah, even unto this day, in this place which he should choose. All right, y'all. Beautiful people, that is our reading for today. It is Thursday, February the 6th, 2020, day 65, year 2. We read Joshua 7, 8, and 9. And if you were not here from the beginning, where you heard my story of my shenanigans when I almost tore my face up hitting the curb the other day, you might want to rewind it. You might be interested in the comments of why they going down to the bottom and why they laughing and stuff, because I was telling what happened to me the other day when I chose to do what I knew I should not have done. All right, so there was a quick lesson in repentance and doing what's right all the time, even in the very smallest things. Something that's just it literally hit me hard. It hits us hard, so, and I still carry the wounds on my knees because of them. All right, y'all, so with that being said, I cannot stress to you enough. Do what's right because it's right, even when you think nobody is watching you, because surely it's going to come back for you. If you thought you'd gotten away with it, you are not going to get away with it. Nobody gets away with anything, from the least to the greatest. From the least sin to the greatest sin, you do not get away with it. And hopefully you're judged immediately for your sins, so you can correct yourself early instead of allowing it to linger on. Grace is not good for some people, because grace causes them to fall deeper in sin and causes them to their hearts to grow harder and harder, when immediate judgment would have gotten their attention. You need to break their state of what they're doing and get their attention. So that's why, so the next time it come around, I don't do that. Yep, I know what happened when you do that. Wait, what you talking about? Nope, y'all going that way. I learned my lesson not too long ago about this. Y'all go ahead. I'll meet you down on the other side, but you won't have me going down that route. All right, so I hope y'all learn from my foolishness, from my shenanigans. I hope you can take that and apply it to your life wherever it fits, wherever that principle fits for you. If you need to take that and apply it to your life, please do. Live a long life, y'all. So I love y'all. Let's go ahead and do this blessing and get up on out of here. Where's the book of Numbers? Okay. All right. Yes, girl. And this cut on my right knee is deep. So may Yahuwah bless us and keep us. May Yahuwah make his face to shine upon us and be gracious unto us. May Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon us and give us his peace. All right, y'all. I love y'all. And I will see y'all in the morning. Peace.